probably hear this all the time, requests for AC/DC.
Sorry, we don't do requests. Welcome everybody. My name is Bruce Teter. This is my friend Adam Gilberti, and we're going to be playing some music from the Middle Ages, which is like the 12th and 13th centuries, 1200s, 1100s or so.
On real medieval instruments.
On real medieval instruments.
Well,
all
replicas
these,
anyway.
all these instruments up here. We'll start with an instrument you're probably all familiar with. This one. Does anybody know what this is? It's a recorder. Who's played this thing? Okay, quite a bit. That's
Anyone
great.
know why it's called the recorder? It's because they thought it could record the sounds of birds. Maybe.
So the recorder is one of the oldest instruments. It goes back 30,000 years. That's a long time ago. To the caveman. So the Neanderthal caveman had little bone flutes like this one. And since it's a bone, it's already hollowed out in the middle like a recorder has to be. He just had to figure out how to make the top part so that it made a sound and put the holes in it.
So after dinner, you could make an instrument.
Yep, suck the marrow out. Okay, so let's jump ahead 29,000 years to the Middle Ages. So that's like 1,000 years ago. And the recorder is basically the same.
No medieval recorders actually survived, so we know what this instrument is because we found one in a medieval toilet.
Somebody dumped this in the toilet 800 years ago, and it preserved it. And
We were
then
able to clean it, copy
they
it,
found it
and that's
copied it.
the instrument we
So
played.
this would be a sample of the kind of music that would be played back in medieval
Yeah,
times?
this is
Yeah.
an actual medieval
Wow.
song.
Yeah,
Okay.
all the music that we play is medieval
awesome.
music, and the instruments are copies
This
of
was
medieval. Called Shining Star. Thank you. That was a nice, beautiful duet for two recorders. So that I don't actually need Adam to play the second recorder part, because in the Middle Ages they had double recorders. So this can play both parts of a duet, because it's two recorders in one, and I could play one part of the duet with this hand, and the other part of the duet with this hand, and together I got the duet going at the same time. That's pretty cool. So Adam's going to accompany me on the harp. Everybody knows what the harp is, right? So
Dates
here's,
back to ancient Babylon.
yeah, it's a pretty ancient instrument as well. And so we're going to play that same tune, Little Shining Star, on the double recorder. We'll play it a little bit slower. So you can actually make your own double recorder. I made this double recorder yesterday just to show you. So I just took two recorders, modern recorders, and taped them together so I can stick both of them in my mouth at the same time. And I tape over the top holes here, so those are already covered, and then these fingers cover these holes, and these fingers cover these holes, and together you can have a little double recorder. Pretty cool.
I don't need his double recorder because I have a triple.
What?
The instrument we have for you is this weird looking thing, which is called the tromba marina, also known as the marine trumpet. It's a very strange instrument. It's got one string, which you bow with a bow, like a violin, and then it's got this vibrating bridge, which really isn't very well attached, and it makes this kind of raspy sound like this. And then you can touch different parts of the string to get different notes. People thought they sounded like a distant trumpet. This was normally played by nuns in monasteries, and contemporary writings of the time report that these sounded so much better than trumpets, which tells you how good the medieval trumpeters were. Anyway, we're going to play a piece, a couple of tunes, one featuring this and one featuring another instrument.
So a lot of these tunes that we're playing are actually songs with words to them, but we're playing them on instruments instead. But does anybody know any medieval song that they've sung? No?
You've
Yeah?
probably
Yeah, there's a lot of alleluias from, because that was a popular theme in medieval songs. King Cole. Old King Cole was a merry old soul. I don't.
Yeah, it was Wenceslaus's other.
Yeah, that was Wenceslas. I bet you've all sung this Christmas carol that I'll play on the pipes. And after I play it, I'll ask you if you know its name. Okay, so here's a Christmas carol that you probably have sung sometime, maybe. Christmas greetings? No. Any other guesses? Little town of Bethlehem. No?
Close.
Close.
I think I know that one.
Do you know that one?
Good King Wenceslas.
Good King Wenceslas.
Yeah.
Good King Wenceslas looked out on the feast of Stephen.
When the snow lay round about, deep and crisp and even.
There we go. So we've gone through a lot of fairly simple instruments: the recorder, the double recorders, the harp, the trombone marina. Now we're going to go into a lot more complicated. Right, you want bagpipes?
The medieval bagpipe.
Okay, so this is a medieval bagpipe. Like all bagpipes, it has a bag and pipes, which I keep in my pocket just to keep them warm. Most of these instruments that we're playing are copies, or all of them are copies, because we don't have the originals, other than the recorder that was found in the toilet. We have no original instruments from the medieval period, because over 800 years they've all been destroyed and decayed. The wood and the leather and things like that just decays over time. So how do we know what they originally looked like? Well, we have paintings of instruments that we can make copies of. And in the case of this bagpipe,
And we know about this instrument from this carving, or this statue that was in a cathedral, which was holding this instrument.
so there's a king playing this instrument with a little jaguar
And then
head on it.
we've made a replica of it,
Yeah.
and now he's going to play.
It has two pipes. One is the drone, and and one is the chanter. The chanter has the open holes like a recorder, so you can play the melody. And it's got these reeds that make the sound. So I just need to fill up the bag. Stick the chanter in. And when I play with all the fingers down, the chanter and the drone play the same note, so there'll just be one note. And then as I move the fingers up off the holes, then the chanter starts playing a melody, but the drone keeps playing its one note. Okay.
This instrument, this box, is called the Symphony. It is the predecessor of the instrument that was later known as the hurdy-gurdy. Inside the box, I've got a wheel that I can turn, which has rosin on it like a violin, and kind of bows a string. Also has drones, and then I have keys that allow me to play melodies. And then I could also activate a buzzing sound, which gives me some rhythm.
Which is the same kind of vibrating bridge that the trumpet marine had. Yes, question?
What happens if you spin it faster?
Not much. The tune is called The Angel. There are words to this tune, but we don't sing and play the instruments at the same time. It's hard enough just to play. Like the double recorder that you can make at home, you can also make a hurdy-gurdy. So I made this hurdy-gurdy, and it's got a wheel like that, and little keys over here, kind of a small version of one, and it comes as a kit. You just order it from Russia. It's called the Ukrainian Gear Company, and it comes as a kit. You punch out these pieces of wood, and 250 pieces of wood, and a very complicated instruction manual. 20 hours later, you can have your own hurdy-gurdy. There you go.
Next instrument I've got here is actually a little pipe organ. They couldn't, if they wanted to do music in the court, the organist couldn't obviously move the giant cathedral pipe organ out. So they started making these small ones called the portativo because it is portable. And then I would hand pump with this crank here, and that fills it with air, and now I can play. Or, if I want to use multiple hands, I can get an assistant. Although in the Middle Ages it was usually a kid or a slave. And so Bruce will be the pump assistant.
we're going to ask you if you want to sing along or clap along, because it's a kind of audience participation. So I'll first teach you the singing part. It's about summer and it's about a cuckoo bird. Does anybody know the song of the cuckoo bird? Yeah, sing it. Cuckoo, cuckoo. Okay, so that's going to be part of the singing.
Medieval songs are usually either really serious or really silly.
Yeah, this is a silly one.
Nothing in between. Really serious or really silly.
Okay, so here's your vocal part. It goes like this. Sing cuckoo, new sing cuckoo, sing cuckoo. You can sing along now. Sing cuckoo, sing cuckoo, sing cuckoo, sing cuckoo. I know it's early, but wake up. All right, everybody. Sing cuckoo, new sing cuckoo. There we go. Sing cuckoo, sing cuckoo. All right, if you don't want to sing, you can clap the rhythm, okay? That's probably easier. So here, I'll show you where the rhythm, Adam's going to do the rhythm. Just one clap. Sing cuckoo, sing cuckoo, sing cuckoo, sing cuckoo. Great. Now, who wants to sing? Anybody? Okay, you got to sing loud. One person singing. Okay, so I'm going to play the melody, so I'll get you going. So we'll do sing cuckoo, sing cuckoo, clap. Okay? Here we go. The singers. Ready? Sing cuckoo, sing cuckoo, sing cuckoo, sing cuckoo, sing cuckoo, sing cuckoo.
Fantastic. We need to say thank you very much. It's time for us to move on. Thank you.
Maybe have a minute for questions. Any questions about the instruments or the music or the musicians? Any questions? Yeah.
Is it Egyptian? Because it sounds so Egyptian.
Egyptian? Well, this is kind of an Egyptian drum, and a lot of the music from the Middle Ages came from the Middle East, so it has that kind of Egyptian sound to it. Yeah.
I actually have a couple of ancient Egyptian instruments. I didn't bring them. I do have a couple.
Oh, yeah.
We actually have all the ancient Egyptian instruments because they were put in tombs. When they excavated King Tut's tomb, they found actual Egyptian instruments, and some of the ancient Egyptian instruments found in King Tut's tomb are playable. King Tut's silver trumpet is still playable. Yes?
Is there such thing as a quad recorder?
What's that?
Is there such thing as
A quad recorder. We had a triple.
I've seen a triple flute. I've never seen four.
See, every time you add another recorder to it, it starts.
It takes a lot of air.
So
So
you
like
play
I run
one
out
note.
of air on the triple flute. Yes.
Last question, guys, because we gotta rotate.
What? This is just my protect the reeds and keep the voice next to it.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
No. Okay.
Rotate.
Thanks a
Can you
lot.
say thank you very much?
You're welcome. Next one is
So the little I've been able to hear from the kids is that was fun. That was dope. I want that drum. Yeah. So for middle
Cool.
school kids, you probably know that it was cool. That's like high praise.
Yes, I know.
So
It's
thank you.
exciting
Thank
as
you.
I get. Thank you.